New details have surfaced about Across the Spider-Verse, and Oscar Isaac speaks out about the film. Yo, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about that name change for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and we're also going to be talking about what Oscar Isaac has said. Now, this will be a video a little bit on the shorter side, just because this is a small piece of news, but I think it's relevant talking about it. And we've got new details of what to expect when it comes to the first installment of the two-part saga that is Across the Spider-Verse. Or should I say, not Across the Spider-Verse, because Part 2 of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has been renamed to Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, and that is the new piece of news that has come out. So recently Sony did a panel where they talked about all different types of stuff, including their movies and stuff like that, and one of the things they talked about, along with announcing this new El Muerto movie, is they are going to be changing the name of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 2 to Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. And that's one of the pieces of news that has recently surfaced from Sony Pictures, and this has been confirmed, set to release in 2024. Now, what does this mean for the film? This doesn't really mean anything. If you guys want to compare this to anything, this is very similar to what happened with Infinity War Part 1 and 2, because if you do remember, the two Avengers movies that capped off the Infinity Saga were meant to be called Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2, but obviously one of them got renamed to Avengers Endgame, which was Infinity War Part 2. Now, the reason for this change was because obviously Endgame was a lot different film to Infinity War, and it didn't really feel like a two-parter. It really felt like its own separate movie, in which it did. It followed the same storyline. However, it wasn't a movie split into two parts. It was very much two separate films when you consider the ending of Infinity War and then what they go on to do in Endgame. However, the same thing is happening for Across the Spider-Verse, and it's probably for the same reason. I wouldn't look too much into it. However, the title could give us an indication to what the second part of Across the Spider-Verse was actually going to be about, or is going to be about. So, with the title Beyond the Spider-Verse, this indicates, to me at least, the first part is going to be about them traveling across the Spider-Verse, hence why that's called Across the Spider-Verse. And then the second part, they won't be traveling across the Spider-Verse, but the stakes will probably be so high in that movie that what they are dealing with is beyond the Spider-Verse. And that's probably what that means. It could mean a whole different thing as well. They could literally be doing something beyond the Spider-Verse, something crazy and something that we've never seen before. It could be referring to a character's internal breakthrough in that movie as well. Possibly Miles' learning curve and character arc could go way beyond the Spider-Verse, and it could be referring to that internal conflict that Miles will battle throughout the film, and that matters way more than all of this multiversal stuff, and he just has to focus on himself. It could mean a whole range of different things, but that is the name change for Across the Spider-Verse Part 2. It is now Beyond the Spider-Verse, releasing in 2024. Now let's move on to what Oscar Isaac has said. If you guys don't know, he plays Spider-Man 2099 and will have a significant role in both Across the Spider-Verse and Beyond the Spider-Verse. And he said, "It's been really fun working on that with Phil Lord and Kemp Powers. The thing I can say is what makes this character so funny is that he's the only Spider-Man that doesn't have a sense of humor. Because all of them act like they're wisecracks, right? Everybody wisecracks, except this guy doesn't. He's a very serious Spider-Man." So this is a small tidbit of news we've got regarding Spider-Man 2099. I do think it's still interesting, even though it's just Oscar Isaac talking generally about the character. But it shows us that the character is going to be done right, because if you guys don't know Miguel O'Hara, he's got a very dry sense of humor, and that's just his character from the comic books, from the games in particular. I think that's where a lot of people know him from, the Edge of Time and Shattered Dimensions games. And you guys, if you've played those games, you will have loved him because he was one of the best characters in those games. I absolutely love Miguel O'Hara in Edge of Time and Shattered Dimensions. If you haven't read the comics, I recommend you go and read them because they are pretty good as well. Miguel O'Hara has a very dry sense of humor, but he can also be very serious. He's the one that doesn't really take anything for granted, and he also does kind of take everything seriously as well. So Oscar Isaac does have a point about saying he's the most serious Spider-Man, and I think that contrasting character along with someone like Miles, who's got a very quirky personality, very similar to Peter Parker in that aspect as well, will really balance out the film's sense of humor, and I really like that. But with that being said, that is pretty much it for today's news. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. What do you think about Beyond the Spider-Verse? Do you think that this is a good name change? Do you not? Do you think they should have kept it with Part 1 and 2? Tell me in the comment section down below. Also, what do you think of the Spider-Man 2099 character? Are you excited to see him in Across the Spider-Verse and Beyond the Spider-Verse? With that being said, if you guys do enjoy all types of Spider-Man content and want to see more videos like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button want to not miss any more Spider-Man news or updates regarding the films, games, or the shows. You can be straight in the loop with any news that comes out. On the left side of the screen, you can see a video that has been personally chosen for your liking based off the videos you already enjoy, and on the right hand side, you can see my most recent upload. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, and peace.